Confidence Sells. Hey, welcome back to Build Beyond with Alex Mitchell, a place for beauty artists who are ready to take their business to the next level, who are ready to book more clients, increase their income, and build a successful, sustainable beauty business. I'm Alex, your Build Beyond guide and beauty business expert. I've helped over 300 students build their beauty businesses beyond 10K months and take their business, income, and lives to the next level. So you're ready? Let's build beyond. If I had to break down the number one key to what makes a business, and probably any business, but we're talking about beauty business here, successful, it would be confidence. Showing up confidently makes life in general so much easier. You feel good, others feel good about what you have to say, what you have to share, and it makes your interactions so much easier. This is the same for attracting clients, showing up on social media, having consults, and finally making the sale, closing the deal, booking your clients in for that appointment, getting that deposit paid. Clients want to book in with someone who is confident in themselves and what they have to offer. Think about if you were the customer in really any circumstances, but let's say you wanted to buy something and the person selling it was really shy, didn't make eye contact. You could feel like they didn't want to be there, like she didn't want to talk to you, didn't offer much insight on what you wanted to buy, even though that doesn't mean she doesn't know a lot about it. Now, on the other end, what if you walked up to a super confident looking person, put together, standing up tall, ready for you, smiling, sharing knowledge on the thing you want to buy, engaging with you, asking if you had questions? Who are you more likely to buy from? And no, I'm not talking about a pushy salesperson. Why does our mind always go to that sleazy car salesman? I don't mean that. I mean a person who's confident in themselves and what they have to offer, a passion, a fire when they're talking about it. Chances are you're going to be buying from that confident person. But if it's something small like a lip chat that you just need, it may not really matter. But if it's something a little bigger, a larger investment, something that requires a bit more of a commitment, like a permanent makeup service, this is where clients especially want someone who's confident. But not to worry, confidence is a learned skill. One of my new favorite quotes is from the show Euphoria, and damn, I wish that show would come back, but who knows. But Maddie says it to Lexi, and she says 90% of life is confidence. And the thing about confidence is no one knows if it's real or not. And if you watched Euphoria, and if you haven't, bear with me, I won't go on this for long, but if you've watched it, you know how confident Maddie acts. So this takes us back to last week's episode of Fake It Till You Make It. That was a bit different way of faking it, more so acting as if you're already the person you want to become in order to become her. But same thing here for confidence, like something that you can work on, get better at, and really start to see growth and keep working on, because there are different kinds of confidence. You can be confident in one thing and not the other. For example, you may be so confident in your PMU skills, your mapping technique, your strokes, your pixels, but you lack confidence when showing up on Instagram or talking one-on-one to your clients at a console. Or you may be the other way around. You can be so confident showing up on Insta, but when it comes to mapping, you're a little shaky and you're second guessing yourself. We all have something that comes a little bit more natural, a little bit easier to us. And in my case, confident in showing up in video, on social media, on YouTube, in my courses, even on Instagram lives. But I do still get a little more nervous when it comes to speaking in front of a group of people, even if it's a virtual group of people, it's just we're live. But I push through. I've been scheduling more of them, forcing myself to do it, and the more I do it, the easier it gets, the less nerve-wracking it is. The key is to keep working until you are confident in all areas of life. And the only way to do this, to get better, is to start doing it now. So once again, it goes back to acting as if. Act as if you are already that confident version of yourself. Since my goal is to get you fully booked, I like to call her Booked Up You. And in order to get there, in order to be that confident, booked up you who's excited to get on stories, talk about her services, who's excited for consult because she knows she's going to get the booking every time, you have to start scared, you have to start nervous, you just have to start. So start acting like Booked Up You now. What can you do today to act like her? Does she post a picture of her work even if it isn't 100% perfect? And trust me, you're the only one who's noticing it. Does she jump on stories to talk about upcoming availabilities and how amazing her services are? Does she invest in herself and her business to learn how to book more clients? Whatever it is, take that step today, because time is going to pass anyways. So seriously, take the time to answer those questions. You can even go deeper, because the more you know about Booked Up You, the more you know about the person you want to become, the more you can make the changes, the shifts to start acting like her. You can go as deep as things like, what does she eat for breakfast? How does she dress? What does she do on the weekends? What words does she use when saying hello? Things like that, the simple, kind of random things. Go as deep as you like, figure out who she is so you can start acting that way and showing up more confidently now. But for now, you were starting scared and you were faking it until you're making it right now. You're acting confident even though you don't feel that way. So how do you do it? You have to start by deciding what you want. And most likely if you're here listening to this, what you want is more clients. What you want is a successful PMU business. Now, you have to decide if you're willing to do what it takes to get what you want. Because if you don't have that drive, that motivating force, to force yourself to do something that is uncomfortable or scary, it's going to be harder and it's probably not going to feel worth it to you. So you've decided that you want it. You've decided it's worth taking the jump, the risk, putting yourself out there. Now you have to show up. So let's focus on showing up confidently online to get the clients. If you want another episode, I can share on showing up confidently at the consult, at the appointment to wow your clients. But right now let's focus on showing up confidently to attract and book those clients. So before I share some of my go-tos from when I was starting out and that I still do to this day, let's go back to why it's important. At the beginning of the episode, I said that showing up confidently makes everything easier. It makes making the sale easier. And this is for you too. You almost need to create a persona of the confident you, because when you start to show up that way, you start to think of yourself that way, and people start to think of you that way, aka your potential clients will start to think of you that way. So for example, when you go on video, especially in your stories, when you were talking to the camera, and this is something I see a lot, you need to show up with energy. And you may think you already are, but if you are not projecting like you are on stage, talking into a microphone, it feels like you are so small and can come across very timid and unfortunately boring. And don't get me wrong, I did this a lot too. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you will get, the more confident you will get. See how it works? You will start to know what feels right, how you want to speak, what tone of voice you want to have, even how you move. I used to sit on my hands because I didn't think talking with them looked professional. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that's all I do. You see neon green nails flying all over the place because that's me. And when I talk, especially passionately, I talk with my hands. And that's where being yourself will really help and just help you feel confident, because it's easiest when you are being yourself. So think about what makes you you and use that to help boost your confidence. Don't be scared to share that. Okay, so before we wrap up, I said I would share what I do to get hyped up before showing up on Insta, recording videos. And that was one of my main areas lacking confidence when I first started and something I needed to work on. And these are still things that I do, maybe not as overtly as I did then, but I'm still doing them to this day. Some of these may sound a little silly, and go ahead and judge me if you want, but honestly, they work. So maybe just give them a try or use them as a jumping point to find out what works for you and helps you show up more confidently. So just like we said, we were creating the booked up version of you. I call this channeling your inner confident version of you. I personally like to channel my inner Lala from Vanderpump Rules, one of my all-time favorite shows and favorite characters. Actually, now that I say that, that is such a good point. I think I was actually listening to her podcast and Lala was saying that Lala is a character. Yes, it's herself, but she acts that way. She's over exaggerating. Even in the way she dresses on the show is not the way that she dresses in her life when she's at home. I think the example she used was that she hangs out at home in her green Give Them Lala robe, not a mesh cat suit that's all leopard print like she showed up on last season of the show. So let's take that as our starting point. Channeling a character, a version of you who's badass and confident. And I don't mean be fake. I don't mean be somebody else. I mean reach deep down and find that version of you who's even just a little bit more out there. Now put on something that makes you feel amazing, that makes you feel confident as hell. Honestly, you should do this every day because when you look good, you feel good. Even if maybe this version of you dresses a little differently than you do on a daily basis, do that, pump yourself up. When I record my YouTube and podcast, I wear a lot more makeup than I normally do. And some of this is for the camera, but some of this is to hype me up. I say there's studio ready, there's going out ready, and then there's YouTube ready. I also always wear my big chain. It's my recording chain, and I feel badass in it. I always say it's my Roaring Kitty headband. He's a financial YouTuber with a crazy story. But anyways, I do this because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel confident. Next up, I blare some of my fave confident badass music. I feel like I say badass a lot. I actually have a playlist of confident boosting songs. I made this years ago and oh my god, this is a story in its own. But I made it to listen to on my way to a meeting to actually first share my pitch for BrowTab. It's crazy how everything comes all together. So I made this playlist back then and now I add to it and sometimes also remove from it. And I'm happy to share this playlist if you want, just let me know. But a couple of my fave go-to hype songs are Severed Rings by Ariana Grande, Do My Thing by Miley Cyrus, and Bad Motherfucker by Machine Gun Kelly and Kid Rock. They get me going, but find a song that gets you going, that makes you feel really fired up. As I get ready, I'll listen to this playlist, dance around a bit. I will sometimes even strut around as I'm setting up my recording area, kind of like Conor McGregor. This one is funny to see, but it makes me feel confident. And I'm not like a huge fan of his, but his confidence levels are out of this world. So if I can channel just even a little bit of that, I'm gonna do it. And I'll normally also have an energy drink or an extra coffee when I'm getting ready, or sometimes a shot if I really need the boost. I only recommend that if you are hyping yourself to record a video, not before an appointment. We don't need any tipsy PMU artists out there. So that's it for today. Confidence will help you with everything in life, including attracting clients and building a successful business. So find a way to start forcing yourself to start acting like the confident version of you now. And as you do it more, it will become more and more natural. And one day you'll just realize that you are confident, that you are no longer scared. Thanks for listening. Please hit follow so you don't miss an episode. I will be hosting a free live masterclass on September 5th, sharing 2 brand new methods of how to attract clients on Instagram. The link is in your show notes, so hit that link, save your seat, and while you're at it, hit subscribe. I put up new videos twice a week. See you then.